Hey guys, BraveArms here, and today we're continuing the video series on Project Moses. Project Moses is taking you with me on my journey on shooting a new handgun with a red dot sight. This is a Glock 19 Gen 5 FSMOS. And we acquired this from Wolfguns Philippines, so shout out to them. And if you're looking for a Glock or any other pistol, check them out. We also have with this gun a Surefire X300 Ultra. And if you're interested in getting one of these or other Surefire products, we actually sell them, so check out our Facebook page for that. And we have installed here an Aimpoint Acro C1, which I bought secondhand from a friend. So shout out to him, you know who you are. On the previous episodes, we talked about the difference between this and a non-MOS Glock. Then we talked about how to install a red dot on a Glock MOS. And then we took it out to the range to zero it. Now that it's all done, we can talk about the principles of shooting with a red dot sight on a handgun. If there is any takeaway from this video, it is that shooting with iron sights is completely different from shooting with red dot sights, and vice versa. Meaning that just because you install a red dot sight on your pistol, your skill from here doesn't translate here right away. In fact, there is going to be a learning curve when shooting red dots on a pistol. So even before we go through how to aim, how to draw, how to shoot with a red dot sight, we first have to understand how our brains see and process aiming with a red dot sight and compare it to aiming and shooting with an iron sight. So we were able to put the camera, we're able to have a setup wherein you get to see how it looks like when you're aiming with iron sights and aiming with red dot sights. And so, let us begin the discussion.
Okay, so this is how it looks like on your brain when you're trying to shoot a target with iron sights. So what most classes, including ours, teach is you want to focus first on the target. So you can see over there, that's the target, the steel plate. Just like in any encounter, whether it's competitive or self-defense, you'll be looking at your target first, or you're supposed to be looking at your target first. Whether it's for target identification in a competitive scene or threat assessment in a self-defense perspective. Whatever the case, you start with looking at your target. On the process of aiming, from focusing on the target, on a split second, you're going to be shifting your focus from the target to the rear sight. So it's going to look like that. And then, this is the part where from focusing on the rear sight, you will then line it up and focus on the front sight, like that. With all that put together, you can see that there are three fields of focus that you have to do when using iron sights. So the target, and then the rear sight, and then the front sight. This all happens in a very split second. But for example, we're going to give units of measurement per focus. Let's say 1 millisecond per focus. So that's 1 millisecond to bring the gun up and focus on the target. The second millisecond will be focusing on the rear sight. And then the third millisecond focusing the front sight. And what's hard about this is that if you fire, when the gun cycles, you're in hopes that the front and rear sight are aligned just the same. Because if not, you'll go again to the rear sight and then focus back to the front sight. As you can see, it's a difficult process to the brain when focusing with an iron sight. Okay, so now that we showed you how it looks like to your brain on focusing onto the target and lining up the sights, let's now go to the red dot. So a while ago, we showed how it looks like when aiming with an iron sight. Now, as you can see, we have the Project Moses over here with the Aimpoint Acro and the Glock 19. Now we'll show you how it looks like when firing with a red dot. So like what he said a while ago, you'll start shooting by focusing on the target. So let's focus here on the target. There you go. So as you can see, you're focusing on the target, and what you have there, you actually have the red dot. So when you draw the gun while focusing on the target, as you can see, you can already see the red dot. And that's the luxury of shooting red dots, that you're able to see the target, focus on it, while having that red dot to help you aim. So one of the big mistakes I notice people do is that when they're shooting, they're actually doing something like this, that they're focusing on the red dot and not on the target, which is a no-no. Because not only will it be harder to track, you're trying to focus on a really small object. So what you want to do when you practice downrange is you want to be focusing on the target while imposing the red dot on it. So that's what you want to do. And that's why when you compare to shooting with iron sights, where if we were to put it in measurements on focusing, it takes 3 milliseconds. This one, since you're already focusing on the target, it takes less than 1 millisecond. So that is one of the huge benefits of shooting red dot. You aim faster.
And now that you understand the difference between what you see and how your brain processes when you aim with iron sights and aim with red dot sights, you can now make an informed decision on which platform is better to shoot at. And on our next video, we'll actually be tackling the advantages, disadvantages, and the differences between shooting iron sights and shooting red dot sights. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, consider subscribing the channel to get that video and to see our other old videos. And if you're watching this on Facebook, consider liking the Facebook page. It helps us make content like this. And we'll see you on the next video.